Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to this video. Right, in this video I'm going to be showing you how I record my YouTube videos and what sort of hardware I use. So many subscribers ask me how I record my videos, what software I use, and how do I get this self view from my webcam and so on. So this video is all about how I use and what I use to record YouTube videos. Okay, so in terms of hardware, so the laptop that I'm recording is Dell XPS 13-inch 9370, which is a 2018 edition, not the latest one. So it's not exactly the same spec here, but most of them is similar. Core i7 8550, 13.3-inch 4K screen. I've got a 512 gig SSD hard drive and the 16 gig RAM, 8 CPU, 8 thread. Yeah, so the day it came, I just wiped Windows and installed Linux. I can't remember what distribution I installed. So, but that's my laptop. And then I've got this front lighting, LED lighting that illuminates my face. So I've got that in front of me. It comes with a rechargeable battery. It's pretty good. I'm not sure. I think there's a lot of other brands as well. Looking very similar, but I didn't really care much about it. But this one, it seemed to work really well. It's very bright, and now I've set the I think I've set it to like 50% brightness. Yeah, so it also comes with the diffuser, but I don't use the diffuser. I don't think I need this diffuser, and it comes with another diffuser as well, orange diffuser as well. So that's the front lighting. And for the microphone, I use this Blue Yeti microphone, which is really good quality. Most of the YouTubers, they use Blue Yeti microphone. I think I use I actually ordered a full black one, but that wasn't available when I ordered. So most of my videos were recorded in this Blue Yeti microphone, and I still use it. But when I started with a normal headphone, a normal headset. But as my subscribers base grew, and I wanted to put more quality into my video recording and so on, so I invested in the front lighting, and then in the laptop, and in the microphone. So this one, I would say it's a very good investment for me. Okay, so those are the hardware, in terms of hardware that I use for recording my YouTube videos. Okay, so what I use for recording in terms of software. So the only software that I use and I've ever tried for recording my screen is Simple Screen Recorder. So if I show you, so that's a Simple Screen Recorder. If I click on that, it won't, because I've already got that running on my other monitor here. So it's actually recording at the moment. But let me bring up another instance of Simple Screen Recorder just to show you the settings that I use. New window. Okay, cool. So that's Simple Screen Recorder. It's very fully functional, but it doesn't come with lots of other cool features. But for me, it's more than enough. It just does what it says. Okay, so whatever that's on the screen, it's gonna record. Yeah, and it can also record audio. And if I click continue, so record the entire screen, it can record multiple screens, but I've chosen this bigger monitor, bigger screen in front of me. I've got my laptop next to this big screen, and frame rate I've set to 25, and now it's recording. The input source is from the Blue Yeti microphone. Basically I'm using Pulse Audio, and that's where I'm saving. So I'm using the MP4 container format. I haven't explored much about the different container formats and the performance, the file size during rendering, the quality of the video and so on. But I've tried few settings a couple of years ago, and I'm still sticking with the same settings. So I choose MP4, H.264 codec, and the constant rate factor. It was like the default is like 20 or something, but I've set that to 1. Preset very fast. You also need to take into account, by changing these settings, you might notice your CPU usage might increase or decrease depending on the codecs you choose and so on. So what the settings that I've got is a right balance of quality, CPU usage, and so on. For audio, I choose AAC with 128 bit rate. That's it. So, and I use Control R as my hotkey for recording. So I'll just start the recording. No, I won't start the recording. I'll just put this aside on the next window, and then when I'm ready, I'll just press Ctrl R to start the recording. And whenever there's a long running command that I don't want to show in the video, I'll just hit Ctrl R and then wait for the command to complete, and then press Ctrl R again back to resume the recording. Okay, so that's all about simple screen recorder. So there's nothing much. So you need to make sure that you've got some way of presenting yourself through your web camera. The other software that I've tried is OBS, Open Broadcaster software, OBS Studio, but that tends to use a lot of my CPU, so I didn't really want that. So one advantage, there are lots of advantages of using OBS. Basically, I was thinking about having a green screen behind me and then changing the background. So you can't do that in the simple screen recorder. It just records whatever on your screen. But if you want to do those cool features, you need to try out other recording software, probably OBS, Open Broadcaster software. But that tends to use a lot of CPU. And with Open Broadcaster Studio, OBS, did I say Open Broadcaster software? I'm not sure, but OBS Studio, Open Broadcaster Software Studio or something, whatever it is. So that when you're using OBS, you don't have to deal with this one here, the self view. You can choose an input stream. You can choose a web capture device, and it will automatically pick one of your available web cameras. But for simple screen recorder, it's a very simple, as the name says, it's just a simple screen recorder. That's it. Whatever on the screen, it will just record. Okay, so that's about the simple screen recorder. Let me show you how I get this working. So if I open my terminal, so I've got a shortcut key. So if I hit that shortcut key now, my self view is gone. And again, it's just a simple toggle, the same shortcut that I've got. And if I show the shortcuts, launch jungle cam, so home Venkaten opt bin. So that's the script that I wrote, jungle cam toggle. And it's bound to shift, super, and C. That's it. And that will toggle my self view. Okay, so what is it? Oh, jungle cam toggle. It's just a few lines of script. That's it. So basically what I'm doing is, if dev video 4 is available, use it. Otherwise, use dev video 0. So those are the video devices. So dev video 4, I forgot to mention about the camera that I was using, that I'm actually using. So it's just nothing special about it. It's just a HP normal 720p camera, but I'm trying to upgrade that to C920 or C922. But most of my videos are just show a thumbnail of me. I don't do a full screen video of myself showing myself. So there's no requirement for me to upgrade my camera, but I might. You know, these days, working from home, you need to attend meetings, you need to show yourself. So I might be upgrading my camera, not for YouTube recording, but for the office work purpose. Okay, so Dev Video 4 is my HP camera on top of my monitor here. And if that's not available, if that's not plugged in, it's going to use my web camera from the built-in camera from my laptop. Okay, so the camera, the built-in camera in my laptop is a very good quality, but the location of the camera is very awkward. So it's at the bottom of the screen, so it won't be a very nice view if I were to use that camera. So I prefer using this camera. Okay, so what I'm actually doing here, I'm using mplayer command line on top. So whatever window you open, it just makes sure that the mplayer window is on top of everything. So at the moment, you can see here I'm moving my terminal and it's going behind the mplayer window. No border, so that's basically it. So if you look in the terminal, you get this top bar and everything. So minus no border says no border. Okay, geometry, I'm setting the window size to 320 by 240 pixels. Minus 10, minus 20, so minus 10 pixels from the right, so it's this gap here, and minus 20 from the bottom here. Okay, I'm using the TV protocol and the driver video for Linux 2, and the device is this variable, which is either my HP webcam or the built-in laptop webcam. Okay, so that's all just the setting. The actual command is here, pkill minus f mplayer on top. So pkill, it's going to search my process tree and find any command, any process that uses this command, or any process that contains this words in the command line. mplayer minus on top. Because I started my command using this command here, it will find it. If it's running, it will kill. If it doesn't find it, it will launch it. So that's a cool little toggle that you can use to bring up and kill your process. Okay, so that's my self-view webcam. Few of you were interested in knowing how I do this, so that's quite simple, nothing, no magic thing. Okay, so now comes to the actual rendering bit. Okay, so what do I use to render my... I don't have to render. What I normally do is I don't do any fancy stuff like mixing multiple clips and everything. So I just record it in one go. I don't have to do any post editing or something. I very rarely do post editing. You know, if something goes wrong in the live recording, it's in the editing software that you just cut, fast forward and all those magical things, fancy things that you want to do, you do it in the video editing software and then render the final video. But most of my videos, I know what I'm talking about. I'm fully focused on the content, so I don't really have to edit my video. But things like increasing the audio volume or cutting certain portions of it and those sort of things, usually if you noticed my most of my videos, I stopped doing that. But the first 5 seconds and the last 5 seconds, I used to have my intro video and outro video. Both are basically the same. It just says just me and open source with the background music for like 5 seconds. I'm not doing that anymore. So in order to join that little bit 5-second clip in front of and at the back of my main video, I use that editing software to mix everything together and then render it as a common format. So what I use for editing, if you've noticed if you've watched my, I think it's the previous video where I explained what softwares I use, I should have mentioned, I might have mentioned that I've used PTV. Okay, so PTV. Okay, so once I finish this recording, I'll hit the save button, save recording, and that will save that file to my videos directory. Click a new project and I'm going to import it. So YouTube gear, so that's the current recording. You can see the size is growing, so that's the current file that's getting recorded, and this one is one of my old video. Okay, so clicking on that and I'm going to drag that here and it shows a nice waveform for the audio. Okay, so once I get this here, what I normally do is, so that's the audio, and if I want to increase my audio, so volume, I can increase it. That's the only thing I basically do, because I know sometimes I might talk rubbish in the video, so I will play this video and then I'll see where I've gone wrong, and then I'll just cut the clip, mix it and so on, all sort of those things. But I don't tend to do that very often because my videos, I think, straight to the point, so I don't do any extra stuff or anything that I'm not supposed to do. So I do a couple of trials before actually recording the video. So if I'm actually showing you anything, a Kubernetes concept or any videos, so I will make sure that I've got, I don't have any scripts or any papers or any screens on my other monitor watching, and I just start talking about it. That's it. So sometimes it might go wrong, sometimes I might forget what to talk about next. It happens to people. So at those points I will just use this video editing software to just cut that portion, or if I just remember, if I just forget what to talk about, I'll just hit Ctrl+R to pause my recording and I will think about it. Okay, so in most cases it will be fine. Just record the video, load it, and then increase the volume and then start rendering. So rendering is where it's going to be interesting. So when I render, I choose the location and I set the name of it and I select the preset to be YouTube. So that changes the container format to QuickTime. Anyways, whatever format you encode your video, when you upload it to YouTube, YouTube will do its own encoding. So by default, YouTube QuickTime 1920 by 1080, 25 frames per second, x264 encoding, and I go to the advanced and change the constant quantizer to 18, from 21 down to 18, and I leave everything as the default value. That's it. And if I click render, it will start rendering and it will start to use all my CPU because I've set it to use all my CPU threads. And when it's rendering, I won't normally do any operations on the on my laptop. It slows everything down. Okay, so I've noticed few issues. I've tried Kdenlive and a few other things. basically, what I said, if I show you my videos directory, so this one here, for example, 694 megabytes, say it's like 700 meg, and I've recorded it for the duration of this video is about 20 minutes. So how long it takes for me to render, depending on the option you select. The options that I've shown you is the standard settings that I've used for the last 2 years. I haven't changed anything. That's the same. So I know how much of a compression or how much the new size, the rendered video will be. For example, this video, which is the original video, which is 700 meg, when I finished rendering, the rendered file, the new file will be about 100 meg or less than that, 80, 90 meg. So that's a really good thing about, you might be losing very slight in terms of quality, but I think it's all okay. I'm not showing any fancy stuff or any high quality video. All you are seeing is just some terminal commands and things like that. Okay, so 700 meg is now down to 80 or 90 meg. Okay, so 20 minutes video, once it's rendered, I mean, how long it takes to render a 20-minute video. So based on the settings that I've chosen, a 20-minute video, it will take about 12 minutes, less than 50% of the actual time. So 20-minute video will take about 12 minutes. If it's a 30-minute video, it's going to take like 15 minutes and so on. 10 minutes video, it will take about 5 or 6 minutes and so on. But I've used Kdenlive with similar sort of settings. And if you don't know what settings you change, and if you change something wrong which you're not sure about, and you might see your rendering time might increase 3 times or 4 times. I've seen my videos, a 30-minute video, when I click render, it was showing me that it's going to take about 3.5 hours, a 30-minute video, and I do it in PTV. I know there is difference. It's not like comparing apples to apples, but I'm not very sure, because I focus just on the content, not on all these editing softwares. So I didn't have time to research into different options, different container format, bitrate, and so on. So the settings that I've just shown you is the one that has always worked for me, and I've been sticking with this for the last 2 years. Okay, so one thing that is bugging me is I'm going to keep this window open. And it only happens very rarely, 1 or 2 videos that I upload. You know, since I've shown you, this is the setting that I use to record and encode, render all my videos for the last 2 years. But sometimes YouTube does something behind the scene and it keeps my video blurry. Even in the high definition, high resolution setting, it shows my face pixelated and blurry. Let me show you what I mean. So if I open Qt browser and search for just me open source, let me go to my channel. It happened to one of my recent videos as well. So if I go to videos, so these 3 videos which I recorded yesterday, yet to be released. So this will be released, all these are like LXT container related videos, which will be released in the coming weeks. No, actually next week. I'm going to release all these 3 videos next week. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay. These videos, it's been recorded with a simple screen recorder with the same setting as all the other videos. Alright? And it has been rendered exactly the same using PTV with all the same settings. But this video, this one I've noticed, and if I click on that video here, so if you look my face, it's kind of pixelated. It's not really clear. And if I right click and look at the stats for nerds, you can see the codec is AVC. So that's the problem. So that's a low quality. So whenever you see this codec AVC, so that's going to be of very low quality. I don't know why. I don't know what YouTube does to my uploaded video, but very rarely, I've seen like 3 or 4 videos. I've done over 230 videos, and of all those videos, about 3 or 4 videos have had this problem. So if I go back and show one of the other videos that I did recently, let's say for example this one, Distro Hopper, which I released last week. Let's wait for the ad to finish. Okay, skip ad. And this one, and if you look at my face, it's not it's not high resolution, but still it's not pixelated. At least it's not blurry, and the fonts are looking okay. And right click, stats for nerds, and you see codec VP09. So that's the good quality, high quality. All the high resolution videos will have this codecs VP09. So I don't know why, what's the difference in this video, because everything from my end, it's exactly the same. Okay, so I've been researching about this, and a couple of YouTubers, they recommended a tip that I can do, which is what I followed in these 3 videos, and which seem to have worked. I might not know, because it only happens to it only happened to 1 or 3 or 4 videos out of my total 236-37 videos. So I don't know whether it's that setting or it's just YouTube, but let me show you what I mean. So when I click render, so instead of 1080p, go to the project settings and then change that to 1440, which is 2560-1440. Okay, and now we can see, so that's my so I'm upscaling. So the file size, it's going to be little bigger, and because we are upscaling, we are adding more pixels to our video, upscaling our video to a high resolution. It might be slightly bigger in terms of the size of your rendered video, but I think I'm going to stick with this for a while. I'm not sure whether 100% sure whether this is the right fix, but at least the last 3 videos that I've uploaded seem to be at high resolution. Okay, so that's about it. I think I've covered everything. As I said, I don't have a script or anything, so if I forget, I'll just regret later. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Hopefully you found this useful. Please share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all in my next video. So I'm gonna stop the recording, and I'm gonna save and start encoding right away. All right, bye bye.